it's Chris Eads, and online is Wootini, another gay gamer video podcast. I have a movie review, but I didn't actually go to the movies because, in the before times, I had my unlimited Metro card and my AMC A-list, so it cost me literally nothing out of my pocket to go into the city and see a movie. I just had to decide, is it worth, the 3 to 4 hours out of my day that it's going to take me to go into the city and watch a movie and come home. So I would see all kinds of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily go and see. But now, I work from home, so I don't have my unlimited Metro card. So it's now, is it worth the time? And then, is it also worth the subway fare there and back? But now, with the rise of the Delta variant and everything, even though I'm vaccinated, it's still, do I want to risk catching COVID for this? And so in the before times, I totally would have seen Don't Breathe too. In COVID times, I don't think it's worth it. I can wait for Netflix. It's okay. Because people don't wear masks in the movie theaters. And that irks me. I still mostly see people wearing masks in stores. Although there are some people who are just like, yeah, I don't have to wear a mask because I'm vaccinated. And I'm just like, But, I do think that movie theaters, I think I read somewhere, I don't know for sure, but it seemed like movie theaters were included in New York City's vaccine, requirements. So, that's an indoor entertainment venue, so it will require vaccinations. So I will feel better knowing that everyone in this movie theater with me is vaccinated, though I will still be wearing a mask. But I did see a movie, because the movie that I really wanted to see this past week premiered on Amazon. So yay for Amazon. And that is Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. Man, these titles. Anyway, it is the fourth in the Evangelion Rebuild theatrical release series, and it was really good. It was really long. I did not expect it to be 2.5 hours plus, but there was a lot to cover, and I was not bored, so I guess it needed that length, which I don't usually say, as you all know. I'm always complaining about movies being longer than they need to be, and some judicious editing would have helped clear this up. But no, I didn't feel bored. It was long, but it had a lot to cover, so it was good. And it was a good ending. Because he's tried to end this before, multiple times, and hopefully this ending leaves him satisfied and he can step away and let it go, finally. I found it a satisfying ending. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. But I thought that the animation was great. The visuals are just stunning. It's always had great visuals. And I was satisfied by the ending. So, yay. Now I kind of want to go back and watch the original series again, which is on Netflix. Netflix has the original series and the earlier theatrical movies. Amazon has all the rebuilds, which they released all 4 of them on the same day, on Friday the 13th, but thankfully, because I wanted to watch the first 3 to prep for the 4th, but thankfully I have the first 3 on Blu-ray, so I was able to spend the week before watching the first 3 so that I could just sit down after work on Friday and watch the 4th one, and not have to try to stream all 4 of them in one day, which would be insane. I guess I'd have to take the weekend, but I'd have to. Now I just hope that Funimation is able to put the 4th one out on Blu-ray in a relatively normal amount of time, as opposed to the 2 to 3 years we had to wait for the 3rd one. That was ridiculous. But yay, Evangelion is over. As for gaming, still playing all of the same games, but what I wanted to talk about this episode is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because I went to Vinland. That was one of the quests. You have to go to Vinland to track down Gorm and kill him, because he fled to Vinland. And when you go there, they're like, okay, you can go on my boat, but you have to leave everything behind because you have to go undercover. So you have to dress like a peasant or whatever, and you can't have any of your weapons or armor. And I was like, ooh. So I go, and my first impression was, okay, this is the game's way of forcing you to use stealth. Because, as you know, in previous episodes, I have said how being a Viking with a big axe and stuff, like, you don't necessarily have to stealth your way through the game. There's a couple of points where it helps to use stealth. I don't think you have to use stealth. But here I was like, okay, maybe they're forcing me to use stealth now. Because I've only got my hidden assassin blade. I have no other weapons or armor. Except, they then, very early on in Vinland, in this section, they introduce shops, where you can trade raw materials, like leather and carbon ingots and iron ore, for weapons and armor. So you basically have to build your character back up again. And I was like, why are you doing this to me? This is tedious and annoying. However, it turned out, I bought like one piece of armor, and I bought a club, so I could have a proper weapon. And then I just, like, went out exploring, and, like, I did end up getting the bow, because I wanted to be able to use that for stealth. But I ended up, Gorm was in the second camp that I checked, and I ended up killing him very easily, because first I stealthed my way through the camp and actually I got a trophy for killing 10 enemies in a row with stealth kills without setting off any alarm bells. So that was it. I was very proud of myself for that. But when I got to Gorm, there were only a couple of other soldiers left, and I just was like right above him, so I just assassinated him. Because I have that, one of the first skills I got in this game was the skill that allows you to potentially assassinate anyone. There's like a circle that closes, and as the ring closes, there's little red icons, and when it gets inside the red, you press the button again, and it's just a timing thing. It's just a quick time kind of game thing. So, like, if you can get it, you kill them in one shot. If you don't, you just do a little bit of damage, and then you have to fight them. But he wasn't that high level, so the ring was quite large, so I had no trouble killing him in one shot. But then I was like, okay, now I'm done. And I can just wrap up this bit of the story and then go home. But I had left half of Vinland unexplored, so I basically took the long way around back to the boat to, like, go all the way around and make sure I collected all of the wealth and did all of the mysteries before wrapping up the story. That way I don't have to go back there at any point. Because I have to go back to Norway because I didn't do everything in Norway, but there's a whole section of Norway that's for, like, the super high level, which is clearly, like, the end game. So I'm like, we'll go back to Norway again at some point in the game. But I don't want to have to go back to Vinland because the loading times are atrocious. Because, you know, I still don't have a PS5 because they're just not out there. And then, so I went back to Ravensthorpe and said to Ranby, okay, we're done. He's dead. I did it. We're all good now. And I thought about, like, I was like, oh, instead of going for another territory in England, I said, let me go and try Asgard again, because I wasn't crazy about Asgard. And I want to do a little more in Asgard just to see if it gets any better. It is not. Like, I was annoyed at Vinland for, like, taking away all my stuff and forcing me to start from scratch, but even there, it still felt like the regular game. In Asgard, it's so hard to get around. It's really irritating. There's, like, 2 synchronization points, and I needed to go for the next quest in Asgard. I need to go all the way to, like, the southeast section of land, and there was no fast travel around there, so I had to, like, work my way all the way across the entire map. And, like, Asgard isn't huge, but it's all, like, floating cliffs and platforms and stuff, so it's, like, hard to get around. It's annoying. I'm like, if I could just fly, if I had, like, a Zelda glider, that would be great. A Deco Leaf or something to float around on, that would be fantastic. But I don't have that. So Asgard is still kind of irritating, and I'm sort of thinking, I don't want to do this. And I don't know. I should actually, if you've played Assassin's Creed Valhalla and you know, let me know in the comments if Asgard is optional, or if it's required for the main game. I feel like it's probably required for the main game, but I don't know. If it's optional, I might not do it, because it's annoying. I don't know if it's worth it. Does it get more fun? I don't know. Tell me that too. Let me know. Anyway, that's it for this episode, and I will see you back here next time for more. Bye!